Firth of Fifth. What an odyssey. What an experience. It's my second time listening to this track, man. I had listened to it previously in a previous quad, and I remember saying in that quad I definitely need a couple of more listens of this. I mentioned to Francisco that I had actually done a reaction, but I guess he just really liked the song that much and he wanted to keep it. That's okay, man. I don't mind it. This is a great tune. It's got to be one of the first progressive rock songs out there, if not the first. What's the first ever progressive rock song in your opinion? Or by popular opinion, or whatever that may be. Let me know. That'd be interesting. Great sound, man. Wow. They really had a lot of good stuff collectively. Their musicianship is just awesome. The drumming Phil Collins did here is just awesome. And yeah, man, with Peter Gabriel's vocals, they had an excellent sound. And get back to me in regards to why Peter Gabriel left, why they had to part company. Because going forward, what is it, 75 that he left? Man, by 75 to 1980, they could have done a lot. And as we can both see, Peter Gabriel navigated from the 70s into the 80s very successfully. So he would have probably been able to take Genesis into a very successful direction in the 80s as well, or vice versa, however it goes. But yeah, I'm very curious about that. And very curious about earlier Genesis with Peter Gabriel. I got to look into that. There's a lot more to discover, I'm sure. Great tune, man. Excellent tune. Yeah, I was just coasting on that river, man. All right, Firth of Fifth. Firth of Fifth is a song by British progressive rock band Genesis. It first appeared as the third track on the 1973 album Selling England by the Pound, and was performed as a live piece, either in whole or in part, throughout the band's career. Composition. Steve Hackett's guitar solo on Firth of Fifth has become a favorite among Genesis fans. No doubt. The title is a pun on the estuary of the River Forth in Scotland, commonly known as the Firth of Forth. Though the song is credited to the entire band, most of the music was composed by keyboardist Tony Banks. He had written the bulk of the song by 1972, presenting it as a candidate for the album Foxtrot in 72, but it was rejected. He redesigned the piece, which the group accepted as a candidate for Selling England by the Pound. Banks, who worked on the lyrics with Mike Rutherford, later dismissed them, saying they were one of the worst sets of lyrics I have been involved with, unquote. Live performances. Hackett has continued to play the song live since leaving Genesis. It appears on his solo album of reworked Genesis songs, Watcher of the Skies, Genesis Revisited in '96, with lead vocal by John Wetton, as well as on Hackett's live album, The Tokyo Tapes in '98. The song was also included as an encore on his Genesis Revisited tour in 2013 to 2014, featured on the live album Genesis Revisited, live at Hammersmith in 2013. Reception. The song has had a strong critical response as one of the best examples of progressive rock. Particular highlights of the track includes Banks' piano intro and Hackett's guitar solo. Absolutely. And definitely I really liked Phil Collins' drumming. Rock author Edward Macon describes Firth of Fifth as one of the finest 9.5 minutes of music that Genesis ever put down, unquote. Genesis biographers Dave Bowler and Brian Dre describe Hackett's solo as the crowning moment of Hackett's time with the band. Hackett has spoken favorably about his contributions to the song, saying, "It'll always be twined with me, and I still enjoy playing it. It's a great melody for guitar," unquote. Yeah, absolutely, man. Fantastic tune. And if that's your claim to fame, that's a pretty damn good song to be labeled and stamped by. Excellent song, man. So many reasons why you can put this on. Come home after a long ass day and you need to chillax and unwind, you put that on, man, and you just drift. Definitely. So, excellent grouping of songs, Francisco. I appreciate it, man. Definitely got to do a little bit more of early Genesis. Where Genesis is concerned, getting into their 80s stuff, I'll save that for the Beyond Classic channel. Under the helm of Phil Collins, the sound did change. That's when I got into Genesis. That's the Genesis that I know. I'm not familiar with the Peter Gabriel Genesis. So for this classic rock platform, I got to go back in time and revisit Genesis, the early years. Yeah, man. So I'll definitely keep an eye out for whatever recommendations you have for the Phil Collins Genesis era. So I'm just scrolling down here, checking my notes before I bounce here, man. Yeah, I just got quads coming up. Always got quads coming up. Quincy, Jeffrey, John, Freddie, Elaine. I also have a note too that I should explain, reiterate how the structure of quads work and how basically the whole entire structure of my Patreon works. But what I'll do actually is I'll make a separate video for that and direct it specifically towards the patrons, because I've been getting a couple of questions and showing some elements of some people not having it clear as to how things work in regards to their quad and when their quad is coming up next and things of that sort. So I will make an actual video right after this one, and I'll upload it right after this one so that you guys can get that and kind of get it clear in your mind as to how I'm going about these patron recommendations and the time sequence of how it's working, because there seems to be a little bit of confusion, not just by new patrons, but patrons who've been with me for a while. So I'll make a dedicated video towards that. And whenever I have maybe new patrons coming in, I will direct them to that particular video so that they can kind of get an idea of, okay, this is what he's doing. This is how it works in timeline sequence in according to his time and his life and things of that sort. So I'll make that very, very clear, okay? Anyways, man, that is my reaction to this excellent quad. Thanks again, Francisco. I appreciate it. And I'll definitely look towards doing some more early Genesis down the road, and some more Genesis that kind of hit up the 80s under Phil Collins for the other channels. So I'll do that. Anyways, man, you guys have yourselves a good one. Thanks for joining me. Take care. I'll see you in another quad. Peace.